Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Leah Decodes. Tell me why you still think about her when the room goes quiet. Tell me why her name still punches a hole in your chest. Because whether you admit it or not, you feel something, and so does she. But both of you are pretending the fire doesn't exist. And that's exactly why you're here right now. Because a part of you is tired of acting like nothing is happening. You're tired of pretending that your emotions are accidents when they're actually signs. Signs you keep ignoring. Signs she keeps hiding. Signs neither of you are brave enough to name. Yet, let me tell you something men rarely hear. Women don't stay emotionally close to someone they feel nothing for. They don't keep showing up unless something inside them is being pulled towards you. And even though she's trying to play cool, even though you're trying to stay composed, the energy between you keeps giving it away. It always does. And one of the first psychological signs, the one you've noticed but haven't understood, is the subtle emotional consistency. When a woman doesn't care, her attention fades. She drifts. She becomes light like smoke you can't hold in your hands. But when she cares about you, even quietly, she lingers. She stays emotionally present in ways she can't fully explain. She remembers things you don't even recall saying. She reacts to your mood before you speak a word. She pays attention to details she has no logical reason to care about. A woman who has no feelings doesn't invest her emotional bandwidth into a man. Not subconsciously, not consistently, not repeatedly. So if she keeps showing up in your life, connecting, checking in, teasing you, challenging you, mirroring your energy, creating excuses to be near you, that's not coincidence. That's not being friendly. That's emotional attraction disguised as normal conversation. And she thinks you don't notice, but you do. You both do. But here's the part you're not prepared for. She's waiting for you to slip. She's waiting for you to reveal something she's too afraid to say. Women hate risking the emotional high ground first. They protect their hearts like a fortress until they know it's safe. And right now, she does feel something. She just doesn't know if you feel it too. So she stays in this limbo with you, this unspoken tension, this quiet gravity pulling both of you closer every time you try to step away. And the reason it hurts, the reason you feel that ache in your chest every time she leaves is because suppressed feelings don't disappear. They expand, they intensify, they turn into questions you can't answer and moments you can't walk away from. And deep down, you know that if either of you took one small step, everything would change instantly. But you're both holding back. You're both pretending you're just friends. You're both acting like the emotional electricity between you is accidental. It isn't. It never was. And you need to understand this. Unresolved emotional tension is one of the strongest forces between two people. It blinds you. It confuses you. It makes the air between you feel heavier than reality. And right now, you're living inside that space. You can lie to her. You can lie to yourself. But the psychology doesn't lie. She feels it. You feel it. And that's why you can't let this go. There's a moment every man remembers. That split second when she looks at you, then looks away too fast, like she wasn't supposed to get caught. That tiny flash is one of the strongest psychological signs that feelings exist on both sides. But neither of you is willing to say it out loud. Because attraction doesn't start with words. It begins with attention. And she gives you hers in ways she doesn't give to anyone else. A woman who feels nothing looks at you the same way she looks at everybody else, casually, neutrally, without that spark of tension. But a woman who has feelings, her eyes linger, her pupils widen, her expression softens for a moment. She tries to hide. She'll look at you like she's studying something she shouldn't be studying, like she's memorizing you. And that's not imagination. That's not wishful thinking. That's biology. Emotional attraction activates the same internal systems as a moment of threat. Your brain tells you to be alert. Her brain does the same. That's why the eye contact between you is charged, heavy, almost magnetic. And yet, the second you notice, she retreats. She looks down. She fidgets. She suddenly finds her phone the most interesting object on the planet. Why? Because eye contact exposes truth, and truth is the one thing both of you are terrified of admitting. You want each other, but you're afraid to lose the safety of pretending you don't. But here's the real psychological twist. She's not just reacting to you, she's reacting because of you. If you didn't matter, she wouldn't feel that jolt when your eyes meet. If you didn't matter, she wouldn't pull away so fast. That's the paradox of unspoken feelings. The stronger the emotion, the harder it becomes to maintain eye contact. And you're not innocent in this either. You try to act calm, stable, collected, but deep down, you feel that spike in your chest every time you catch her looking. You feel that silent adrenaline that comes from being seen by someone whose opinion actually matters. You feel that awkwardness, not because you're unsure of her, but because you're too sure. And that's the real issue. You're both too aware. Every glance, every tiny micro expression becomes a confession neither of you intended to make. She sees the way your face changes when she laughs. You see the way her posture shifts when you walk into the room. The whole world might miss it, but the two of you don't. And the truth is, eye contact is never accidental between two people who have feelings. It's communication. It's emotional exposure. It's the subconscious reaching out while the conscious mind tries desperately to stay in control. You don't need her to say it, and she doesn't need you to say it. Your eyes already said it for both of you, but neither of you knows what to do next. Neither of you wants to be the one who risks rejection. Neither of you wants to open the door to something that might change everything. So, you keep pretending, you keep breaking eye contact, you keep playing this silent game of emotional chicken, but deep down, both of you already know. The feeling is there. It's real, and it's getting harder to hide. There's a strange kind of closeness that forms between two people who care about each other but won't admit it. It's not romantic. It's not friendship. It's something in between, something heavier, deeper, and far more dangerous. And one of the clearest psychological signs of this unspoken connection is the way your emotional moods sync without either of you trying. You felt it. You've noticed it. You just didn't have a name for it. When you're slightly off, when you're quiet, distant, or weighed down by something, she picks up on it instantly. She might not say anything at first, but her energy shifts. She becomes softer with you, more attentive. Her tone changes, her behavior adjusts. And she does this not because she's being polite, but because your emotional state affects hers more than she wants to admit. A woman who feels nothing for you doesn't feel your mood. She hears your words, maybe, but she doesn't sense anything beneath them. But a woman with unspoken feelings. She feels your silence. She hears the meaning behind your short answers. She notices the slight drop in your shoulders. She recognizes your tension before you even open your mouth. That's emotional attunement. A bond created only when two people matter to each other, more than they're willing to say aloud. And it goes both ways. You feel her too. When she laughs differently, you notice. Not the polite laugh she gives everyone else. The real one, the softer one, the one that escapes before she can stop it. When something's wrong with her, your chest tightens a little and you don't know why. When she's distant, you feel it like a shift in the weather. You sense when something's bothering her, even before she actually shows it, and you pretend you're just being observant. But it's more than that. It's emotional gravity. And here's the truth. Men rarely understand. Women don't emotionally sync with men they don't feel connected to. Her brain doesn't open that channel for just anybody. It only happens when her guard is down around you. When her feelings are attached, when she's letting you into the parts of her emotional world she keeps hidden from everyone else. You didn't force your way in. She let you in quietly, carefully, without meaning to. But here's where it becomes painful. Because the stronger the emotional connection grows, the heavier the silence becomes when neither of you acts on it. You begin to feel responsible for each other's moods without actually having a defined relationship. You feel the weight of her sadness even though she's not yours. She feels the tension in your voice even though you're just friends. It becomes an emotional relationship that never gets spoken, never gets defined, never gets claimed. And that's the sign nobody warns you about. You care about each other like you're together, but behave like you're strangers trying not to cross a line. It's the kind of connection that makes her remember everything you say, even the small things. It makes you check your phone more often when she's quiet. It makes both of you act like you're not attached while feeling everything in the background. This is the psychology of unspoken feelings. You don't announce it. You don't label it. You just feel each other so deeply that pretending becomes exhausting. There's a moment in every almost relationship where the truth becomes impossible to ignore. It's when the little things start feeling too personal, too intentional, too intimate to be just friendly. And one of the strongest psychological signs that you both have feelings, even though neither of you will say it, is the way she subtly tries to protect the connection. Not openly, not dramatically, quietly, strategically, emotionally. A woman who feels nothing for you doesn't worry about losing you. But a woman with unspoken feelings, she becomes more careful with how she speaks to you, more selective with who she talks about around you, more aware of what might push you away. She won't admit it, but she's trying to hold on to something she doesn't fully understand yet. You've seen it. You've felt it. You've replayed it in your mind. The way she softens her voice when the conversation gets serious. The way she suddenly clears her schedule when you need someone. The way she makes sure you're okay, even when she's pretending not to care that much. The way she gets a little quieter when you mention another woman. Not jealous enough to expose herself, but not indifferent enough to hide it completely. Men always think women are hard to read. But the truth is, women reveal everything, just not with words. And her subtle protectiveness is one of the clearest signs of all. Because when a woman cares, she becomes emotionally territorial, not possessive, not controlling, just quietly protective of her place in your life. She doesn't want to lose her access to you. She doesn't want to be replaced. She doesn't want someone else stepping into the emotional space she's been quietly building with you. But here's the part that hits the hardest. You protect the connection too. You don't talk to her the way you talk to everyone else. You choose your words more carefully. You get a little too aware of your tone. You avoid saying anything that could push her away or make you look disinterested. And you don't do this because you're scared of her. You do it because you're scared of losing what's happening between you. There's an invisible thread connecting the two of you. And both of you feel it every time the conversation goes silent. Every time she logs off, every time she walks away, it's that sting, that tiny, sharp emptiness that tells you something real is happening, underneath all the casual smiles and light flirting. You're both protecting something that technically doesn't exist. You're both acting like you're afraid to lose a relationship you don't even have yet. You're both investing energy you can't explain and won't admit. That's not friendship. That's not coincidence. That's emotional attachment trying to break the surface. But neither of you wants to be the one who changes everything. Neither of you wants to risk the rejection, the awkwardness, the possibility that you read it wrong. So instead, you both guard the connection without confessing the reason it matters. And that's the psychological sign people underestimate the most. When two people protect something unspoken, it's because they're both terrified of losing it. There's a final sign, the one people feel the deepest but understand the least. It's the tension, that slow burn magnetic, undeniable tension that builds every time the two of you are alone, or even just texting, or even just thinking about each other at the wrong time of night. It's the kind of tension that isn't loud, isn't dramatic, but it sits under your skin like a pulse you can't quiet down. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the way your conversations feel like they're one sentence away from becoming something more. The way the silence between you isn't empty. It's heavy, almost electric. The way both of you linger just a little longer than necessary before saying goodbye. The way something in your chest tightens whenever you're around her, like your body recognizes her before your mind does. That isn't friendship. That's emotional chemistry fighting to surface. And she feels it too. That's why she gets slightly nervous around you in ways she doesn't around other men. That's why her voice shifts when the conversation gets too meaningful. That's why she looks away when the moment feels too vulnerable, too exposed. She's not avoiding you. She's avoiding the truth that's growing louder inside her. Because once she acknowledges that tension, everything changes. And she's not sure she's ready for everything to change. But here's the part most men never realize. The tension wouldn't exist if it was one-sided. Chemistry is not created alone. It's a mutual reaction. Her body language responds to yours. Your voice softens when hers does. Your nervous system reacts to her presence because hers reacts to yours. Attraction isn't a statement, it's a pattern. And you two have been repeating the same pattern over and over without ever naming it. That's why you replay your conversations after they happen. That's why you think about her more than you intend to. That's why you feel that strange mix of excitement and caution every time you're about to see her. And that's why she acts differently with you. Not dramatically, not theatrically, just tenderly. Controlled yet charged, calm yet slightly shaken in your presence. The tension between you is the truth you're both afraid to say out loud. It's the feeling that slips through the cracks when you least expect it. In a laugh that lasts too long, in a joke that cuts deeper than it should, in a look that neither of you should have held for that long. And you're both holding back for the same reason. You don't want to lose what you already have. You don't want to risk misreading the signs. You don't want to shatter a connection that feels rare, precious, almost fragile. But here's the secret. Unspoken feelings don't stay unspoken forever. They build, they pressure, they demand to be acknowledged. And one day, something small will break the silence. A sentence, a glance, a moment. And everything will shift because the truth is simple. You don't feel this way about everyone, and she doesn't act this way with everyone. This isn't imagined. This isn't one-sided. This is mutual. This is real, and you both know it. Now there's only one question left, and it's the one you've been avoiding. Do you think she feels the same way about you? And what's the one sign from today's video that hit you the hardest? Tell me in the comments.